Have you ever heard that just a few spoken words could save countless suffering beings? Does that sound unbelievable? Could spiritual power really be condensed into something so short, so effortless, yet so effective? Welcome back to the channel, dear friends. Today, we are going to uncover one of the most accessible yet deeply impactful methods in Buddhist practice, the simple food offering ritual taught by the revered Master Hongyi. This method is known not for its complexity, but for its profound simplicity. While most people think that delivering sentient beings from suffering must require elaborate ceremonies, ancient chants, and vast merit, Master Hongyi proved otherwise. He offered a way for even the busiest, most ordinary people to create incredible karmic benefit through just a few heartfelt words. In this video, we'll explore the origins of this method, the logic and compassion behind it, and most importantly, how you can integrate it into your daily life to benefit countless beings, including those you cannot see. We'll tell stories of people who've practiced it with sincerity and witnessed remarkable changes, not just in their environment, but in their hearts. Let's begin with the question: who was Master Hongyi? Born in the late Qing dynasty as Li Shutong, he was a brilliant artist, poet, musician, and intellectual. He could have lived a life of luxury, fame, and influence. Instead, at the peak of his success, he left everything behind to become a monk. He shaved his head, gave up his worldly possessions, and embraced the path of discipline and compassion. He became one of the most respected Buddhist teachers in modern Chinese history, revered not just for his scholarship, but for his impeccable conduct and sincere heart. One of his most widely taught practices was a simplified version of the food offering to hungry ghosts, or traditionally, this practice was elaborate, involving many ritual items, chants, and a trained cipher. But Master Hongyi understood that not everyone had access to monks, temples, or even time. So he offered a version that anyone could do, anywhere. Here's how it works. Before you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, or even a snack, you take a small portion of the food. It could be a few grains of rice, a piece of bread, a bit of fruit. You hold it gently in your hand, or place it in a clean container, and you say aloud with sincerity: "May all hungry ghosts and suffering beings share this offering. May their hunger be satisfied, their minds calmed, and their karma purified." And you gently place the offering outside, on the ground, in the grass, near a tree, or anywhere clean and respectful. That's it. One sense, altar, elaborate setup. Just intention. Just compassion. Just a few words. But behind those few words lies an ocean of wisdom. You see, in Buddhist cosmology, the realm of hungry ghosts, Crotas, is filled with beings who suffer from intense hunger, thirst, and longing. Our karma makes it nearly impossible for them to consume food. They often cannot even see it. But when someone with a sincere mind dedicates an offering, using even a few heartfelt words, those beings are able to access nourishment, and not just physical, but spiritual. This small act bridges worlds. It connects the visible and the invisible. It acknowledges that suffering is not limited to the human realm, and that compassion should not be either. Let me tell you a story. A woman named Sarah lived alone in a bustling city. She had no formal Buddhist training but had a deep spiritual longing. One day, she stumbled across a translation of Master Hongyi's simplified food offering ritual. Intrigued, she decided to try it. Every morning, before she had her coffee, she placed a piece of bread on a napkin near her window. You whispered the offering words and sat in silence for a moment. At first, it felt like talking to the earth. But within days, something shifted. Her mornings felt more sacred. Her meals more mindful. Her heart more open. One day, as she sat at her desk, a wave of compassion swept through her and tears filled her eyes for no reason he could explain. She later described it as a moment where she felt the presence of unseen beings, not haunting or frightening, but grateful. He continued the practice every day. Over time, our depression softened, Her anxiety lessened. She didn't just feel better, he felt connected. This is the invisible power of merit. When you dedicate something to others, especially to those who can thank you, you purify your own mind. You create channels of compassion within your consciousness, and the effect ripples outward. There's a story from a temple in Taola. During the Hongyi Ghost Festival, a young boy who had recently lost his grandmother insisted on performing the food offering ritual every day. He wasn't fluent in Buddhist chants. He barely knew the words, but every day he took a small bowl of rice, knelt before the family altar, and said his grandmother's name, followed by "May all hungry spirits eat and find peace." His father, who had never believed in such things, watched silently for days. On the seventh day, the father had a dream. In it, he saw the grandmother smiling, radiant, surrounded by light, saying, "Tell my grandson I am full and free." The father wept upon waking. He joined his son the next morning. You don't need psychic powers to see the benefit of this practice. Even if you never hear voices, ever see ghosts, ever have a mystical experience, your own heart will tell you. Because something changes in the giver. Each time you offer food, you are saying to the universe, "I see your suffering, share what I have, wish you peace." And in that moment, you become more human, more awake, more alive. Some people ask, is it dangerous to call ghosts? When it's done with compassion, clarity, and respect. Fear only rises when there is ego, superstition, or impure motives. But when your mind is sincere, your heart pure, your intent humble, then no harm can come. In fact, you become a beacon of light in a dark world. Others ask, does it work if I don't see results? Just as water nourishes a tree long before the fruit is visible, your offerings nourish unseen roots. You may not see the beings who receive it. You may not feel the merit you generate, but the Dharma does not lie. Karma never forgets. Compassion never fails. Some practitioners say the act of offering food to hungry ghosts helped them heal generational trauma. One woman said that after she began the practice, dreams of our ancestors stopped being filled with conflict and became filled with light. Another said she stopped feeling an invisible weight on her chest after every meal. She realized she had always eaten with guilt. Now she eats with gratitude. Imagine that. Every meal becomes a ritual. Every bite a blessing. Every day, a doorway to deeper awareness. Esther Hongyi once said, don't wait until you're perfect to help others. Start where you are. Help with what you have. You may not have much. You may not be a monk, or a scholar, or a healer. But you have a plate of food. You have a heart that cares. And that is more than enough. So tonight, before you eat, take a moment. Set aside a small portion. Offer it with love. Say the words, not with doubt, but with conviction. May all hungry spirits and suffering beings be fed, may they be freed, may they be at peace. And let it go. Let the offering go out into the vast web of consciousness, touching beings you'll never meet, and places you'll never know. And then, eat your meal, not just with your mouth, but with your soul. It's the connection. It's the freedom. It's the quiet joy of giving without expecting anything in return. That is the path of the Buddhist offer. And it begins not with a grand gesture, but with a simple offering. Thank you for watching this video. If this practice touched your heart, please share it with others. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell us, have you tried the food offering ritual? What did you feel? What changes have you noticed? Your story may inspire someone to start their own practice, and that ripple could touch countless lives. Thank you for watching this video.